The move of the front tire forward 1 inch has done us a ton of favors. Oh boy, guess what arrived today? AccuTune! Thank you, AccuTune, for making this whole process a lot easier. If you have AccuTune shocks or coils, keep the packaging. It makes it so much easier to do returns for rebuilds, that sort of thing, so you can leverage your 25% off when you source things from AccuTune. So, as a reminder, these were sent back because the passenger side one was leaking. The driver's side one was fine, but if you're going to rebuild one, we're going to rebuild both because the other one could be subject to the same problem at some point. And it wasn't leaking bad. It was just weeping a little bit. Started at EJS, and we thought it was just mud mixed with, you know, dirt, oil. I mean, it was definitely rainy at EJS this year. But it did it again at Sand Hollow, so they went back, and now we get to install freshly rebuilt shocks. Yippee!
Quick refresher, when you get these things back from AccuTune, you took them apart, which means you have to put it back together. The easiest way to do this is take your preload washers all the way to the top. That takes the minimum preload. And you want to load your springs. And if you care about such things, make sure you line the numbers up so that they'll be in the correct orientation when you see it.
April cares about these things.
Center float. The upper spring, or lower spring actually in this case.
It is upside down.
Okay. The lower keeper. And what I've had some fairly decent success doing is to just get that to sit there for a second.
Move your finger so we can see that. There you go. Yeah, it's just hooked under it, isn't it?
Just to keep it out of the way long enough to get the clip here reinstalled. That sits in its groove. Watch your fingers, and then you go. Now there's no preload on the spring yet. We'll have to adjust that once it's on the vehicle so that the vehicle sits level at ride height. Just like that, the shocks are now ready to reinstall.
So when we were taking apart tools, we left the mounting bits here in a plastic bag in the spare tire so we could find them. So go ahead and get those placed. They are staged for when we need them.
Okay. Raise it slowly. Try not to grab my fingers in here. Hold up. Down. No, maybe not. Maybe I can get it in there. Down just a little bit. Yeah. Tighten up the last of the bolts here. And then we just need to adjust the ride height and the preload on the springs. Okay.
And torque those puppies down, right?
Well, because this is custom, there's no torque spec except just a half-inch bolt. So, tight. So the shocks are back in, uppers, lower bolts tightened, reservoirs are tightened down, and we've been through the process of readjusting the preload so that we get our ride height and that we sit side to side level in the back end. So now it's finally done. New shocks reinstalled at all four corners. Now it's time to take it out and see what it does.
I am sorry that I don't have video of how we solved this problem. This problem turned out not to be in the kick panel. It actually turned out to be on the back of the instrument cluster itself. One of the plugs had gotten like half plugged in, and it wasn't working well anymore. Also, I didn't record the lighting either. The lighting changes were all due to a bumped connection that happened during the camera install, as we expected. So understood and fixed, but I'm sorry I don't have video of it. So remember how we moved the front tire forward 1 inch? So back from the night run, and coming out of the night run, I did have to go down a couple of, significant ledges. So in the past, it would have rubbed. So let's look. Did it rub this time? The dried mud seems to indicate that no, I did not rub anything coming off. I mean, you might make an argument there, but it's actually not that. That's a pre-existing scratch. And now we're looking at the passenger side. And again, nothing. So I think the move of the front tire forward 1 inch has done us a ton of favors. But I think that's also coupled with the redesign of the bump stop. Notice it's just, you can actually see the evidence of where it's hitting just because of the mud on here. Oh, the drip in the background's the air conditioner. It's hitting, but notice it's not sliding. It's just hitting. And that's exactly what we had intended to happen. So 2 thumbs up, just like that. And thank you guys for the work on this. This is a pretty fabulous little change. I will say, overall, she was a lot less noisy on this trip, and I didn't realize how much noise was being caused by all of the front end congestion, I guess, so to speak. She was also a lot more stable, a lot more predictable coming off of ledges and such. So handling improvement, but isn't that to be expected? So yeah, very, very grateful. Awesome work.